itching to go? Does it feel like a while since you played?
Yeah, a little while, not too long though. You know, coming in, obviously last year I had a lot longer off coming into the Aussie summer than I did this year.
I don't have any sound. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, not as long as probably other years coming into the Aussie because you know, this is the first time I played a couple of indoor tournaments towards the end of the year in Europe. So yeah, I feel like I've had a really good off season though this year on the practice court and more so in the gym and doing off court work.
So how long since the body's felt as good as it does right now?
I don't know, a few years.
So 2013, what's your aspirations going into that?
I don't know. You know, for me, the priorities, obviously the Grand Slams, the Australian Open and Wimbledon are my two main priorities where, you know, that's where I want to play my best tennis, and I think I've got my chance of playing my best tennis over 5 sets in those two majors with a little bit of luck with the draw as well. Then obviously Davis Cup, you know, so I'll work the rest of my schedule around those events, but yeah, right at the moment I haven't thought too much past Melbourne and doing everything right for there. Yeah, there's not too many. So, yeah, it's obviously nice. You know, in the past I've either, you know, this tournament used to be in my hometown of Adelaide, so I always played there, and then I've played a lot in Perth and the Hopman Cup as well. So, yeah, I knew the arena and the place anyway from Davis Cup ties, where, you know, I played here once when I was on clay a couple of years ago, and then was here earlier this year for the Davis Cup, was helping the boys out on court. So, yeah, it's a great arena. You know, it's going to be nice to play there tomorrow night. Yeah, it's going to be a tough match. Yeah, I'd always played pretty well against him and then lost to him only a couple of months ago though in Shanghai. He played really well. Yeah, he's a tough competitor. He gives 100% every time he's on the court, and he's got an awkward game style to a lot of other guys out there. But yeah, I probably wasn't 100% in Shanghai, so hopefully tomorrow night will be different.
Mariko's obviously had his best year and got into the top 50. How high do you see him potentially going?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, obviously he's got his points sort of scattered all over the shop a little bit. He had, you know, some of his biggest highs last year and some of his lowest losses as well, in some challenges in the early part of the year. So he's got a big opportunity now, I think, in the next couple of months before he has to defend his final in Delray Beach to really make a stamp on it. In terms of points, I don't know exactly. You know, he could. Yeah, he could get top 30, I think. No, and, you know, there's a lot of guys probably that sneak in there and bounce out of there all the time, and he obviously hits the ball well enough. His ball striking isn't his problem. You know, there's a couple of things he's got to work on his serve. If he can hold more of his service games, he's a really good returner of serve, so he's going to get the opportunities to break. So, yeah, I have hit with him a few times up here. He's hitting the ball clean enough. He's just got to structure his points a little bit better. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mental. I think he's moving well. He's, yeah, I think his fitness levels are better. Yeah, he's all round. I think he's a lot better player than 12 months ago. A lot's going to come down to, you know, self-belief though as well, taking that next step.
It seems that every year the young player becomes more powerful and taller. Do you think that it's even more complicated for you to compete with these players?
Oh, there's probably more powerful players out there these days than there was 10, 15 years ago, but yeah, all those guys are pretty talented, I guess, and a lot of the bigger guys these days move a lot better than they used to. I think that's probably their biggest strength. They don't just have a serve, they can obviously move and make a lot more balls from the back of the court, such as, you know, even Karlovic, Isner, these bigger guys, Kevin Anderson, so that probably makes it a little bit tougher.
But do you think it could be possible for a short player to be number one today?
Well, you know, Djokovic isn't the biggest guy and he handles everyone pretty easily. Federer is certainly not the biggest guy or the strongest guy out there, and you know, he doesn't lose to Isner or Karlovic too often, you know. So you know, then you got guys like Tsonga, who's so powerful and explosive. So there's a lot of different players out there, but Yeah, I still think, you know, a good ball striker, and if you've got good hands, and you know, you still can be very competitive.
What was your take on Rafa's withdrawal? I think a lot of people were obviously looking forward to seeing him coming back. Do you fear for his future with knees that clearly aren't quite right?
Well, from what I've read, it wasn't his knees that he pulled out, so I don't know.
Oh, there's a suspicion that the virus
Okay.
isn't quite ready, and it's easy to say you've got a virus.
Okay, well, I don't know. Unless you know something I don't. Yeah, I'm just going on, he's got a virus or whatever, so if that's the case, then yeah, that's unlucky, obviously, but yeah, everyone wants to see him back playing. Yeah, he's one of my favourite players to watch, so yeah, it's disappointing he's not going to be at the Aussie, especially after, yeah, I was fortunate enough to commentate the final last year. It was one of the greatest matches I've seen.
Lleyton, you've been on tour since you've been a teenager. What's kept you motivated for all these years?
Not sure. You know, I love competing, obviously, and you know, you're retired for a long time, I guess, as well. So yeah, I've been able to freshen up though the last few years in terms of, you know, there's been 4 or 5 months at a time where I've had surgeries and had to recover, and you know, obviously just mentally I've been able to be a lot fresher and not burnt out as much. And for me, you know, it's all about scheduling and not playing too many tournaments, and obviously trying to play well where I want to play well.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.